Hello there. Right, I'm going to say this now. I hope by now, as we have just had episode 6 of Doctor Who, that you have all managed to see both Orphan 55 and Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, and that those of you that want to, by the time of me uploading this video, will have seen Praxeus, which was tonight's episode. I'm going to try not to spoil the episodes, but I am instead going to discuss essentially how Chris Chibnall and his co-writers, or people that he's co-writing with, keep bringing back the political type discussions in his show, in his role as the showrunner. Basically, what he's doing is he's bringing back the whole political thing. Those of you that remember the episode Arachnids in the UK will know that the arachnids, the spiders, were mutated by the landfill under the hotel. It appears that in this episode they have interwoven a theme in regards to plastic and the pollution again. Nim Chris Chibnall keeps coming back to this in so many episodes. He did it with Arachnids in the UK and possibly with other episodes in season 11, and he's now doing the same thing in season 12. Many of us enjoy watching Doctor Who. It's escapism, it's a bit of fun, and generally speaking, I'm going to ignore all of the negativity, which is mainly around the fact that the Doctor is now female and not a male, allegedly for the first time ever, although if you've paid attention, you'll know of incidents such as where River Song said that she's had wives, which may have included being married to the Doctor in both male and female forms, and that the Doctor, especially in seasons 10, etc., of New Who, basically said that there are times when he's been female. So there are probably times when, despite what we've seen on screen, he's actually been a little girl, or the Master has been female, as we know when she was Missy. But that's by the by. Chris Chibnall, all of us that like Doctor Who, the Doctor Who that have been around since 2005, because most of us may or may not have seen classic Who episodes. I was born around the time between 1980 and 1989 that Sylvester McCoy was the Doctor, so he would have been my Doctor, and the show was cancelled in 1989. And other than films and that, we didn't really get any other Doctor. Like Paul McGann did the film where he was the 8th Doctor. But because, as David Tennant's Doctor put it, in the Wester Drumlin episode, with the original Weeping Angels, which was called Don't Blink, it's all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly and all that stuff, so things don't necessarily run linearly like we thought. But main point is, we are kind of getting bored of you interweaving this political themes into it. Yes, we are aware, we are more than aware, those of us that are interested in how we are polluting our planet with plastic and with landfills and with CFCs and all that stuff. I've dyed my hair, so I'm not exactly helping in regards to the trying to save the planet. And I do throw things away and don't really recycle or anything. But I watch Doctor Who, as I'm sure many people do, to escape from the realities of life, have a bit of fun for like up to an hour. And that, I mean, Spyfall Part 1 and 2, they were really good episodes. Orphan 55 wasn't so good. Or all, I think the monsters were shown too much and everything. I enjoyed Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror because we got to see another historical figure and we got to see the Doctor bounce off other scientific people and meet the Edison and I think it was Edison as well as Nikola Tesla and introduce Ryan, Brian and Yaz to historical figures that they may or may not have known who they were. But this episode was primarily meant to be, as it turns out, meant to be about a disease. However, that disease was spread throughout the use of plastic, and there was something to do with microfiltration and microplastics, and how because we're trying to the message is somewhat mixed up, right? Don't pollute the planet, so we find ways to do things like the microfiltration and all that, um, which like gets rid of like whatever impurities and stuff like that, but it has plastic in it, and plastic gets in our systems and stuff, and it's bringing these aliens down to we're basically try and find a cure for this illness that they've got and everything, and it's infecting our planet and that. So yet another way that our planet is being infected, albeit via an alien thing. But please stop introducing these political things into it because we already know, and those are the people are going to not change the habits that they've got because you've incorporated it into a show like Doctor Who that's meant to be a show where you can shut off from realities and have a bit of fun for an hour. There are plenty of shows and documentaries and stuff out there that if we're interested in learning how to change how we behave, we can watch. We don't really need that from our political shows. And I have already responded to somebody on Twitter to ignore all the negativity, but I don't want a political message shoving down my throat from Doctor Who. And I feel sorry for Jodie Whittaker being the first female Doctor having to relay these messages. As for what happened last week, we've had Orphan 55, which I think I may have discussed previously. Nikola Tesla's and we also last week in Fugitive of June, which I know I was missing out by talking about this. We had the introduction of a black female doctor. Originally, this character was introduced as Ruth, and she didn't even know because she'd used the chameleon arch to hide herself from herself, so same as David Tennant did in one of his episodes with Martha Jones, Friedman Adjiman's character. Um, but it's just misplaced. A lot of people, Mr. TARDIS reviews, the Who addicts, and others have discussed how it's misplaced because, canonically speaking, um, William Hartnell's Doctor is the first Doctor that we know of, and because Clara went back through the timeline when she went into the timeline stream thing, and told William Hartnell's Doctor to take that particular TARDIS, there's no way that Ruth's Doctor could be before William Hartnell and Nick. So what I'm thinking is something that other people may not have thought of, that in the time period between, I know they did the whole thing of Sylvester McCoy's Doctor got shot and became Paul McGann in the 1996 film, but then even though they introduced the War Doctor, they never actually showed you John Hurt's Doctor changing into Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. So somewhere around there between what happened between 1989 and 1996, and then 1996 to 2005, there could be somewhere that they could fit Joe Martin's Doctor in, but the way that it's been scripted is that she was before William Hartnell, or that the indication is that she's supposed to be before William Hartnell, or she could be from alternative reality or something. I'm looking forward to seeing what next week's episode could bring up. I enjoyed the fact that they gave 3 companions were separated off in this episode. But also, I'd like to point out that the big speech that they gave at the end, that just basically in the fugitive of the Judoon to the Doctor, even though she's suffering with having seen Gallifrey destroyed all over again by the Master and everything, completely unnecessary for them to say that, because basically she just started being happy clappy again from this point, going, hey, yeah, fam, and all this stuff, basically. But yeah, the whole situation right now, and the biggest thing, which yes, I admit I was incredibly happy about after not having seen him. I never actually finished watching the last season of Torchwood that was based over in America on the Stars channel, I think it was, because it didn't feel like like Torchwood season to me at all. So I was really, really, really glad after they've already brought other people back, like Can't Billy Piper, they brought back to play the moment in John Hurt's War Doctor episode. I was really glad to see Captain Jack, although I do think that he needs to be brought back again pretty soon. There's only episodes 7, 8, 9 and 10 to go now. So basically he needs to be brought back again in the next 4 episodes that there's going to be, so that we can find out more about this lone Cyberman, which wasn't mentioned again in this episode at all. And near that, but I've probably spoiled a lot of things that I didn't intend to spoil for people that haven't watched Praxeus yet. But the bringing back the whole theme around the plastic and landfills and polluting the planet and stuff that they've brought up in Orphan 55, with how the pollution and stuff that we were doing destroyed the planet. Arachnids in the UK, how the landfill under the hotel was contributing to destruction. And now this Praxeus, which is a disease that is like spread through infection with the plastic and the microfiltration and the microplastics that's in that. Chris Chibnall, I know that other people that have more subscribers than me have said this. You don't need to incorporate this. I'm not saying that Classic Who didn't have political things in it, but the way that it's been shoved down our throats in the New Who, as it's called, just isn't necessary. There's a way to incorporate it, such as how happened when Peter Capaldi was playing the Doctor, and then they had that whole situation with the button and the Clara's clone and all that, and how he talked about it in Stephen Moffat's era as the showrunner, on him telling them was much better, in my opinion, than the way that they're getting Jodie Whittaker to portray this message. But that's basically everything that I've got to say. We've got the episodes 7, 8, 9 and 10 to go yet, plus I'm assuming there'll be a Christmas or New Year special at the end of the year. I don't know if we're going to have to wait until 2022 for season 13, or not, like we had to wait till this year for season 12 after not having had Doctor Who until like New Year's. They this year. But basically, we shall wait to see what happens with the next 4 episodes. One of them is obviously going to be about the lone Cyberman and stuff. So one of the next 4 episodes, possibly episodes 9 and 10, will probably be a two-parter with the lone Cyberman, which pretty much like with Spyfall when the game master was introduced at the end of part 1, we'll probably get this lone Cyberman introduced midway towards the end of part 1 of a two-parter, and then it'll be resolved in part 2, but we don't know yet. So thank you for watching. I've spoken for longer on all of this than I intended to, and I will get back to you real soon. Bye!